Hello and welcome back. Today we're going to cover the functions and features of the infotainment unit in our Bentley Continental GT and just go over everything that you're able to do using this system. We will cover navigation and the air conditioning buttons in a separate video, so stay tuned for that. Let's work our way from the left buttons and work over to the right. So your first button here is tone, and this is all to do with the audio and the sound coming out of your speakers and your infotainment system. Your first option here is your treble, mid-range and bass, and you can basically just adjust this higher and lower as you wish. If you prefer a more bassy sound to your music or higher treble, you can just use these plus and minus buttons to adjust that feature. Working our way down to balance and fade. This option here will just allow you to adjust the sound to come more out of the rear speakers, or you can move it more forward, or you can just centralize it, which is what most people tend to have, and just give you a more even sound around the cabin. Volume settings will give you some further options as to how you would like the sound to operate, and for example, your maximum
due to overhead line problems. Billy will travel back in half an hour.
When you
BBC Radio London.
let's just lower that. So that's when you start the vehicle up and you'll switch on volume. Obviously this was very loud for some reason, so we'll just lower that there. Your next one will be traffic announcements, and when it interrupts the radio to give you a traffic announcement, how loud you want that announcement to be. Navigation and voice control, again, is if you're using the sat nav and your announcements, how loud you want that to be. So you can adjust that here again, and again, it's how much or how loud you want that announcement to interrupt the radio. Same goes for telephone volume, how loud you want that to be when you're using the telephone. And your PDC, which is your park distance control, how loud you want that beep to be when obviously that kicks in, for example, when you're in reverse. Let's move on to our next menu, which is speed dependent volume control. Again, this is, for example, if you're on the motorway and the note of the engine is louder, there's more road noise, the vehicle will automatically increase the volume of the radio and adjust it dependent on your speed and your surrounding. That can dampen the radio out. AV output, again, is just any external media or DVD devices. And acoustic feedback, that is again just when you're touching these buttons, you can hear as I'm doing that, you're getting a beep, and that is basically that setting there. So you can turn that off if you don't like it, or you can leave it on if you like that feedback. Moving on to our next button, which is the radio. You can have your preset stations here, as we've got, and all you would do is, if you want to preset a station, you would go to your station list, you would select the station you want. So we can go to, say, Heart, go back, and we can just hold that down, and that would store that station as preset number 5. Band is just your FM or your AM. This vehicle doesn't have DAB, unfortunately. Station list is just to go through your list of stations as we've just done. Presets are all your station presets. Extras will just allow you to either scan for new radio stations, traffic program if you wanted that. So that is basically, if you select that, that will interrupt your radio when there's a traffic announcement. And this one is just to switch off the display. For example, if you're driving at night, you don't want the glare from the screen, you can just turn off the display. And that one there is just manual audio adjustment, so you can fine tune the radio and manually select the station you want. We'll move on to media. It's coming up with no media detected because we haven't got anything in here, but you can put in an SD card. You can put in CD, which goes in the top slot here. So once that's inserted, that will be your media button. Moving on to telephone, again, we haven't got a telephone connected here today, but if we did, you'd get your telephone book and anything related to your telephone coming up on this button here. Let's move over to information. Again, there's nothing to display there, there's no messages, but that is just reading the traffic reports. Again, we're sitting in a industrial car park, so it's not picking up any traffic here, but I'm sure if we were to drive out on the road, you'll start to get some traffic messages come through on that display there. And let's move over to the car button. This is displaying your tyre pressures. So we've got 21-inch tyres fitted to this car. If we go to the speed option, that is just asking us what type of driving we're doing. And in turn, depending on what's selected there, it will display in this center section the specified tyre pressure. So we've got it set to normal driving, and it's telling us 2.6 for the front and 2.2 for the rear. And you can see we should really increase our front tyre pressures just to come up to that 2.6 specified setting. And these figures are actually live, so if we were to increase that tyre pressure now, you would see that figure start to change as we were increasing the tyre pressure. Tyre info is, again, it's just telling you what the required or what the specified pressures are for the type of driving you're doing. And tyre type is, you would just select whatever tyres you had fitted to the car. That's 20-inch wheels with winter tyres fitted. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for the next video.